Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air your real estate voice every Saturday. If you can't listen to the entire show, it is always available on Barb's site. That is barbhasthebuyers.com. Or go ahead and search Barb. You'll find her on most popular podcast platforms like iHeartRadio and others. Barb, what are we talking about today?
Well, Richard, it's really interesting how there's a lot of people out there talking about doom and gloom in the real estate market. It is a little bit slower, but there are still people buying homes. And so the first thing we're going to talk about is when is the best time of year to sell a house in Colorado. We'll go into some data of different areas along the Front Range, just so you can kind of get an idea what's happening. And I think we're seeing some light begin to appear at the end of the tunnel. And then the next topic is going to be what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale in Colorado. I get that question every week from my clients, and it's a good question, and it's very customized to you. Some people are 100% ready. Most people, I would say, are not. And that's part of our services. We help you get ready. But I'll give you some tips that you could do on your own without anybody coming over. And then the third topic kind of fits in with it, but what we're going to talk about is what to fix and what not to fix to get your house ready for sale. That's a question that's probably one of the more common ones that we get. Should I do this? Should I do that? And some ideas are not so great, like the buyer won't pay for it. A big example, and I'm probably going to make a few people mad here, is solar. Adding solar to your house, it really doesn't add to the value. I hate to say it. I know a lot of solar salespeople are not going to want to hear that. However, if you look at similar sales around the area, or even homes that are on the market with a solar system versus those without a solar system, it's not really moving the bar, and it has to be fully paid off at closing. So if you have somebody trying to sell you a solar system and you're thinking of selling, I would think twice, because you're just not going to get a good ROI. Richard, have you got any pitches like that to put solar on your house?
Every now and then I would say it's kind of tapered off a little bit. I think the newness and how exciting it was to some people and how good it made them feel has kind of waned a little bit. But yeah, I get those, I don't know, probably once every 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, it cost a good 35 to $50,000. And if you take your electric bill and divide it by that amount of time, it's going to take a long time for it to pay off. So if you plan to stay for a long time, it's great. But at the end of the day, the system still has to be repaired, maintained. It adds an extra layer of work if you have a composite shingle roof and you've got those panels up on the roof. You actually have to bring in a solar company if you get hit by hail, take those off first, then do the roof, then put them back on. So it adds more cost to doing having to replace roofs, which people probably have to do that in this climate more often than many others. And the last topic we're going to cover is how to choose the best real estate agent for selling or buying a house. And as always, I love talking about my hot new listings. Richard?
So, Barb, now that the summer real estate season has peaked, and you've been told that prices vary according to different locations up and down the Front Range, do you think that the real estate market will bounce back with the change this year? And if it does, when is going to be the best time to sell your home here in Colorado?
Well, Richard, the peaking of the market tends to happen in along the Front Range for the most part between March, and it'll go all the way through September. So that's when we see most people in the mode of moving, because the school year is ending. There's a lot of different reasons. A lot of military transfers happen around that time. So that is probably prime time to sell your house. However, we do sell homes year round. And one of the benefits of being on the market when the market has softened up a little bit, or when there aren't as many homes on the market, is you don't have as much competition. So I wouldn't worry too much about the timing of it. I would just make it work for your schedule. And you right now, with the average days on market kind of expanding out to over 3 months in most areas, You really want to kind of build that into your schedule to go, okay, if I go in the market, it's going to take 3 months to sell. Could be quicker. We do get offers right away on some properties. And then from contract to close, it's another month. So I definitely would plan ahead and just be ready when it happens. Now is a pretty good time. The rates are kind of ticking down just a little bit. We went up to as high as 7.25 in the last few weeks, and now they're coming back down. And anytime you see the rates dip down, more buyers enter the market. But one thing that really surprised me when I was looking at the data today was that we've kind of bottomed out in the pricing. I mean, we ended 2024 with higher prices than we had at the beginning of 2024. However, there was a time frame when the prices were a little bit higher, which was spring through summer. So I believe that what we're seeing right now is we kind of bottomed out and the prices are heading back up again. And that's one of the biggest problems of why a lot of buyers are sitting on the sideline right now is the affordability factor. I read an article in the Wall Street Journal this week that mentioned that if you go back to 2012, you could buy a house if your income was about 39,000. Now you need to earn over 100 to 15 to $120,000 as a household income to qualify for a home. So that takes a lot of buyers off the table unless they have creative ideas, such as if they can get the mortgage broker to knock down the interest rate for a certain period of time, or they can negotiate some of the closing costs that the seller pays to buy down the interest rate. And those are great ideas that a lot of people are using right now. Interest rates absolutely impact price, but not as much as you would think. Like, if you listen to the doom and gloom videos that I watch every once in a while on YouTube, they're like, the sky is falling, the market's crashing, but the data just doesn't play out. And Realtor.com named this market as being proposed to be the hottest market for resale in the country for 2025. So that's good news, but it's always good to price your home what I call realistically versus optimistically. And you'll be able to tell if you miss the price point from the moment you go on the market based on the volume of interest and showings. Right now, we're seeing a little bit higher amount of sales than we had the year before. And the rates are coming back down into the low sevens for conventional, mid sixes though for VA and FHA. So if you can get a mortgage broker to take 1% off the rate, now we're in the mid fives. Now it's starting to be affordable. So be ready as a buyer to negotiate. Prices tend to go higher when the rates drop. So if you find a home right now that fits that criteria, I would not wait for the prices to correct even more because I just don't think it's going to happen in this market. I could be wrong, but I'm just telling you what I'm seeing on the statistical data. And my resource updates that data daily, not monthly. Right now, we're seeing more available homes on the market than we have in the previous year by 31%. Sales are pretty consistent with what we saw in 2023, but I'm seeing the prices head back up and the days on market are kind of about the same. So plan on 3 or 4 months to get a home sold and then make this schedule work for you. I know homes look a lot prettier in the summer when the yard is green and all that, but there are some homes that look fabulous in the winter as well. Buyers are always looking for homes. I'm always getting offers on my listings year round. So it's all about choosing the right agent that makes sure it's presented properly on the market so you are the best home on the market. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show. It's called Your Real Estate Voice. And what we're talking about is what is the best time to sell a home? And when we come back, we're going to kick around some other ideas like how does this new National Association of Realtors settlement affect negotiations with buyers? There have been some changes. It's very interesting. And if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
So, Barb, we're discussing when is the best time to sell a house in Colorado. What are the pricing trends right now, and what do you expect to happen through the rest of the year, especially the summer?
Well, real estate's very local. It's very local in terms of neighborhoods sometimes. It's local in terms of geographic areas. There's a lot of different factors that play into whether or not a home would be more desirable or not. And it depends on a lot of things. It depends on price. There are some homes that aren't that pretty, that if they're priced right, they're going to be the hottest home on the market. There are some homes that are offering to assume their VA loan with a low interest rate. Those tend to be the hottest homes on the market. And I get the question all the time, if you are a veteran, you let somebody assume your VA loan, what if they don't make a payment? Does that hit my credit? The answer is no. They start reporting credit to the assuming buyer when that happens. However, if they ever foreclose, you could lose a little bit of your VA eligibility until any deficit is paid back. So we're becoming an expert on that because we're seeing more and more of it. So if you have questions about it, give me a call, 719-301-3900. The other thing that I'm finding really interesting right now is that when buyers are making an offer, what has changed as a result of the National Association of Realtors settlement is the buyer's agent commission is negotiable. So I just tell the agents, because they always call and go, well, is your seller going to pay some or some of the commission on the buyer's agent? And I'll just tell them, it depends on the offer. Bring me the offer. Sometimes the sellers agree to pay whatever they ask for, and sometimes it's a negotiating point. It does depend on the offer. Now, the buyer's agent might have an agreement already with the buyer as far as who's going to pay their fee. My partner actually just made an offer on a property this past week, and he'd already kind of predetermined with the buyer how much he would be paid if the seller did not pay. And he ended up getting more than what he was planning to be paid. And it was all paid by the seller. So it really depends on the seller's motivation. And I tell sellers just to, plan for it as one of their closing costs, but know that it can be a negotiable point, and it absolutely depends on the nature and the scope and the quality of the offer that they get on the house. So if you are thinking of making a move, give me a call. We love to help people get their homes ready for sale. We'll give you tips on what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale, give you an idea what your home will sell for. We'll show you all the buyers that we have looking for a home like yours, as well as our cash buyers. So give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker, host of the program and the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you are thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. A short break. When we come back, we'll be talking about what to do and what not to do when you're getting your Colorado home ready for sale. Stay tuned for that.